Hello everyone, it's Chris, and as you can see from the signs, we are headed to Canada. I believe this is the first time I've been through here across the border on the Spyder. So, this is going to be a new experience here. Hi there, I've got Easy Pass. It picked it up? Okay, thank you. So we're now crossing the Niagara River. You can see Niagara Falls right there. I hope you can see it. The Canadian skyline, the Niagara River Gorge right there. You can see the whirlpool bridges off in the distance. We're about to cross Canadian Border Patrol, Customs, whatever they call it, and these guys can be kind of hardcore. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to come through here with the GoPro, with the helmet on, or if they're going to require me to take this off. We'll know momentarily. Again, I've never done this. Hey there! I'm going to just shut this down if you don't mind.
Perfect. Can I just get you to remove your helmet, please?
Oh, of course. Hey! I'm just going to pull up here to let that guy get through. Put my gloves on. So she was kind of cute. I wasn't sure if she'd require me to take the whole helmet off, which would be a whole production. But thankfully she did not. Okay, we're off. So today we're going to head along the Niagara River, which we've done multiple times on multiple videos, only we've done it on that side of the border. We've headed up the Niagara Scenic Parkway to Youngstown on many videos, but today we're heading to Niagara-on-the-Lake. And dead ahead of us, just on the other side of this wall here, is the Niagara River Gorge. You can't really see the river because of this wall, but it's there, trust me. So Niagara-on-the-Lake is a really cool, historic, beautiful town. They really decorate it with flowers and gardens. They do a really good job of keeping that town just pristine, clean, beautiful, and we're going to see it today. So a lot of these houses that we see on our left were once, you know, beautiful riverfront mansions, really nice houses, but a lot of them, if not all of them, have been converted to bed and breakfasts, Airbnbs. So it is mid-August, and I just shot a video. It was, I guess, 2 videos before this one about riding in hot weather. And now, here we are in mid-August. The Spyder thermometer says it's 75 degrees. My guess is it's probably 70. Now, it's still early. It's 10 o'clock in the morning. But it's funny how the weather is. So, I mentioned that. I have my Climb mesh gloves, but I don't have my mesh jacket on because, quite frankly, I'd be too cool today. I mean, it would be bearable, but I've got my Tourmaster jacket. It's vented. It's got a zip-out liner, which of course is out. So this is the parking lot we'd park at if we wanted to cross the Niagara River on the Whirlpool Aero car. It doesn't cross all the way across the river. It doesn't go across the border. It basically goes from one part of Canada, right there where we just went by, to another part of Canada, crossing what's called the Whirlpool, which is a cool geologic formation in the lower Niagara River. And they call it they used to call it the Spanish Aero car. I think the sign says Whirlpool Aero car now. I don't know why it was ever called Spanish Aero car. Maybe a Spanish company built it. I should know that. I probably read that at some point long ago and now have just forgotten that. So we're going around that whirlpool right now. This bend in the road is because of the whirlpool. So this is where the Whirlpool Aero car goes to, the destination. It's a very short trip. It literally takes a couple of minutes and it goes very slow, but I'm going to just pull in here for a quick second. So, and you know what? I did not intend to do this, but we're just too close not to just walk up there and see it up close and personal. And I've got the helmet on, so people are... I don't like, as I mentioned in other videos, walking around with my helmet on and the GoPro because I think it looks goofy, but I don't want to take a lot of time. In fact, I left my iPhone back at the motorcycle, so I'm kind of trusting on things here. So, oh yeah, nice. He's coming over now. So to put it into perspective, I don't want to drop my keys down here. So that is Whirlpool State Park. We've been to that point. We've shot videos from there. The Whirlpool Aero car, I hope you can see it with the GoPro. It's not good with distance, I can never tell, but it's coming towards us now. This is the Whirlpool. And so this is the lower Niagara River. These are the Whirlpool Rapids flowing into this Whirlpool. The water kind of lollygags around here, and then, I hope you can see it, it shoots this way. We're now heading north towards Lake Ontario, where we'll pass the towns of the villages of Lewiston, the villages of Youngstown, and pour out into Lake Ontario between Youngstown, New York, and Niagara-on-the-Lake, Canada, Ontario, and that's where we're headed. But I want to just wait until the aero car gets here. It's really going slow. I wonder if he knows I'm shooting video and he decided to slow it down. Can they do that? I doubt it. Okay, he's getting closer. I say he, I don't know if it's a he or a she in terms of the conductor. And to be frank with you, I'm not sure how this thing is controlled. If there's someone at the controls there that runs the car, or if there's someone actually on the car who could like stop it. I've seen it stop before. I don't know if that's done by a guy or a woman on the car, or if it's done by the headquarters. Oh no, they've stopped. Well, look, it almost looks like they're going the other way. That's not possible, right? I'm not going to wait for this to come in. Again, this video is about Niagara-on-the-Lake, and it does look like he's inching the other way. No, he's not inching. He's moving. Okay, so we're going to head out. But at least you can say you saw the Whirlpool Aero car. I don't know why they didn't come all the way. Maybe he didn't want to give me good video to shoot. I doubt that, though. Okay, I did not intend to stop here. However, I couldn't not stop here. So this little overlook is going to give us a good vantage point of the NYPA Dam, the New York Power Authority Dam. I think that's called the Robert Moses Dam. It is called the Robert Moses Dam. That is like one of the largest hydroelectric power sources in the Northeast that supplies electricity all over. So we're looking east towards New York, and we're about to ride over, I don't know how well you can see it with the GoPro, but the Sir Adam Beck Dam, which is the counterpart to this dam, unrelated, but they're both doing the same thing with the same kind of technology, hydroelectric power source for Canada that we're about to ride over right now. Niagara-on-the-Lake is only, I want to say, 20 or so miles from Niagara Falls, New York. I think this dam is probably around the midway point. I did not intend on stopping there. I did not intend on stopping at the Whirlpool Aero car docking station. But when I go on these adventures, part of the joy for me is bringing you along with me, and there's not much joy if you don't see some of the coolest sights. So this is the Queenston-Lewiston Bridge. It goes from Lewiston, New York to Queenston, Canada. There was a big battle in the War of 1812, the Battle of Queenston. An American raiding party came over and tried to take Queenston, and they were defeated. Now, it's been a while since I read the history on this, but they were defeated, and General Brock was like the head general for the Canadian side, British Army general, and there's a monument, a rather tall one. We'll see it. You can't miss it. You can see it from the other side. In fact, I think I've pointed it out on videos, I believe. But there's a General Brock monument, and speak of the devil, there it is, right there, dead ahead. General Brock defeated the Americans in that Battle of Queenston. And I believe as a retaliatory strike, I hope you can see that cool statue there. The British then went over and they burned Lewiston to the ground. And I really hate that, because Lewiston's one of my favorite little villages to visit, to have dinner. And the idea that the British would burn it to the ground is just so terrible. But I guess if we're going to raid their Canadian territory, they're going to burn our village to the ground. And I know I've said this before, but I am conscious of the fact that when I'm jerking my head back and forth, that can be disorienting. Again, there's just some things that I want you to see. So for instance, that's a cool monument. I'm not even sure what it's to, and I'm not going to pull over because, again, this is a Spyder channel. This is not a history channel. We already have one of those, right? Called the History Channel. Okay, this is another spot I did not intend on stopping at, but you can see we're right up close to the Niagara River. A couple of folks on a boat there. My guess is they're fishing. But you can see, or at least I can see, cars along, not many, but there's cars along the Niagara Scenic Parkway through the trees there on the United States side. So there are some parts along this parkway that get right up close to the river. I passed a house a while back that was built like right on the river, no trees obstructing his view. It was awesome. There's a lot of vineyards on both sides of the Niagara River, the New York side and the Canadian side, the Ontario side, and there's wineries and whatnot, and there's a whole bunch of them as you ride down this road. Just, I don't want to say countless wineries, but that's probably the right term, because it's a lot of them. I don't drink wine. I don't really drink any kind of alcohol or liquor, but if you're a wine person, the Niagara River region would be a cool place to come visit. Okay, Fort George is the historic fort. You can see it there. For the British, on this side of the river, that is, I guess, the counterweight to Fort Niagara, which was on the other side of the river in Youngstown, New York. Now, the history's complicated on this, like a lot of things. The fort on the American side, Fort Niagara, was actually built by the French. Like, I want to say long before the Revolution, maybe before the French and Indian War. Okay, so now we're entering Niagara-on-the-Lake. This is just such a beautiful town. I'm going to basically ride through the main drag. I'm going to get off the Spyder. I'm going to do some walking here. But see what I mean about the flowers? You can tell they put a lot of staffing and effort into keeping this beautiful. And like I said, there's not a lot of folks here, which is good because I can ride slowly to show you this cool stuff and not worry about someone behind me honking the horn. You come here on a Saturday or Sunday and the place is packed. It's mobbed. This is a really nice park here. It's the park to our right slopes down right to Lake Ontario, and I'm going to take you there. We can't get there on the Spyder. We'll drive down there on the Spyder after we do the main drag, but I'm going to have to walk you down there to the waterfront, to the lakefront, and show you the lake with my iPhone, but that's okay. The cenotaph is cool. Oh, that's a neat little place they built kind of out on the street. As is that one. Oh, Sunset Grill. That's a neat breakfast spot. I didn't know they had a location here. I've eaten at one of their restaurants. It's kind of a Ontario chain. It's a regional chain. But I've eaten at their Toronto restaurant many times, but I never knew they had one out here. Okay, so this is the end of the main commercial drag. So that's the park that I pointed out to you earlier, and I think I can get to the lakefront park down this street. I should just park right here and then kind of, you know what? I'm going to park right here. But you can see the lake right there. Okay, so we paid the parking machine, and now we're walking right to the park where we're going to see Lake Ontario up close and personal. Oh, so as a former newspaper guy, what are you doing, dude? I forgot about this, but as a former newspaper guy, I love this. I'm going to just show you this real quick. Isn't that cool? Just think, someone lives here. Someone lives right there. I mean, that is awesome. Going this gazebo just to be in the shade. Not that it's hot out, but for the iPhone, I think it'll get a better view here. So to put things into perspective, this is Lake Ontario. This is the Niagara River pouring into Lake Ontario. That is Fort Niagara, built by the French in the early 1700s. Eventually, during the French and Indian War, the British won. The British took the fort, and eventually we took the fort. I say we. We're in Canada right now, and I know some of my listeners are neither Canadian nor American, but the Americans took the fort shortly after the Revolution. But you can see it's a cute little beach here. So now I'm gonna head back to town. So this is interesting. Horse and buggy rides. I wonder if I set up a thing here and get to give Spyder rides, if I could make a go of it. See that? There are two horses with two carriages, a black one and a white one. Pretty cool. This horse is amazingly calm. But you see what I mean? This is not the main intersection here. This is kind of a famous hotel right here. But just like notice the floral displays. I mean, just really beautiful. So my intention for lunch was to have a really healthy lunch, and you can see I've got fruit and granola and yogurt. It's terrific. Unfortunately, on the walk to this place, I got a whole big block of fudge, but I'll enjoy that later. Okay, so we're back in Niagara Falls, Ontario, on our trip back from Niagara-on-the-Lake, and we're heading towards the Rainbow Bridge to cross over. Now, my phone GPS has warned me not to come this way, to go over the Lewiston-Queenston Bridge, where apparently there's a lot less traffic. And traffic does get backed up here. I think we saw it coming in this morning, but I came this way anyway. One, this is in Niagara Falls. It's much closer to my house than the Lewiston-Queenston Bridge. And two, I just love the views from the Rainbow Bridge, even if we're stopped. Now, today is not an unbearably hot day. The Spyder's saying 82 degrees, which means it's probably in the mid-70s, right? Because the Spyder thermometer is meaningless for the most part. I have my heavy jacket on. I'll likely take that off if we're stuck in traffic, and take the gloves off, and we'll enjoy the view. So I can see, you probably can't see it with the GoPro, but I can see that the Rainbow Bridge is backed up all the way to the beginning. So we're gonna have a long, insufferable ride on the bridge through traffic. I'm now heading west away from the bridge. The only way to get to the bridge is to kind of go through this circuitous route through Niagara Falls, Ontario. If you're not from the area, I can see where this would be very confusing. At some point, I'm going to take you here for an evening ride, because when this is all lit up, when the falls are lit up, the views are just spectacular. So I will come over the bridge and do a tour of just Niagara Falls, Ontario at night. But I'm an early to bed, early to rise guy, so I'm going to wait till we get later in the year when it gets darker earlier, so I don't have to come out here at 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. Hershey's, an all-American brand in Ontario, Canada. Okay, so the bridge to the USA. It's always good to be back home. I don't see any traffic just yet, but I know it's here. And there it is. Wow, now look at those views. And again, your line of sight is like 6 inches below mine, but now I know you can see it now that the wall's not there. Isn't that just fantastic? I just love this view. Never gets old. Wow, this lane is really moving, which is super, but I keep shutting down, and so this line is really moving fast. As you can see, we're almost there. Usually the border crossing this way, at least for me, for an American citizen, is usually smoother. But I must say that entryway into Canada was super smooth, and that was me with a full face helmet on. You know, I had to take it off, but I had to lift up the lid, but still it went very smooth. Sometimes those guys, when you're entering Canada, and I assume it's just when you're not a Canadian citizen, it's kind of an interesting experience. But this should be pretty smooth once we get up there. But the line's moving super fast, and they only have, I don't know, what's that, 6 stations open. They could open up all of those as well. My guess is if this was a weekend, they would. So if you're not familiar with the border crossing process, we have to wait here until this guy gets released. The first time I crossed the border, like 10 years ago, going the other way towards Canada, I didn't know that, and I drove right up. The guy had a fit. He had a complete conniption, and I get it. He probably thought I was I had bad intentions, but it was a bad experience from my standpoint, and my guess is from his as well. And here we go. We'll see how smooth this is. Hi there. I'm gonna shut down. I'm doing good. How are you doing?
Where are you coming from, bud?
Niagara on the Lake, just for a little ride.
How long were you in Canada, bud?
Not long. I had lunch, an hour tops.
Bringing anything back to declare?
No.
Alright, take it easy.
Well, that was super smooth. I didn't have to lift up the lid on the helmet. I don't know if that's because I'm an American citizen. It's probably just individual chemistry with the border agents, but so anyway, we've crossed the border both ways. We saw Niagara on the Lake and the beautiful ride up there. I'll ask you, as I always do, if you like this video, please hit the like button. If you have any comments, if you're familiar with Niagara on the Lake, if you have comments on the border crossings, whether it's this border or any border, please comment. If you do not subscribe to my channel, and I've said this before, most of you watching do not subscribe. YouTube provides you with statistics, and they tell me that like 75% of the people watching this channel don't subscribe. So for those of you in the 75% category, please hit the subscribe button. But whether you do or not, whether you subscribe or not, I do appreciate you watching, and until the next video, you have a great day. Bye-bye.